Hello. You guys are. I don't know why you're so tiny right there. I'm gonna hide you for now. Hello, welcome to the first technical difficulty of the second campaign set in the Amnesia universe. This is Into the Hellmouth. It's going to be a little bit different than the last one. It'll be hopefully a bit shorter than the last one. It has been very graciously written by our guest DM, that being Zack Snyder, who's going to do a fantastic job, or else.
Wait, that Zack Snyder?
That Zack Snyder, right. Yeah, exactly. For anybody who's tuning into this one, we definitely generally recommend watching the first campaign, as some of the references of what's going on might be a little confusing, but if not, we're going to give you the basics to get caught up. But as a brief introduction, the description of this campaign: as the Alsham Lance carved its way into the maw, a great hole was opened in its wake. Despite their war with the Alkuli Empire, the Wardens prioritized their first duty and sent scouts to assess the damage. When the scouts failed to return, the Wardens elected to call upon the Vigil, a small elite unit of highly trained soldiers, to find the scouting party, gather intel, and secure this new threat. However, even the Vigil may not be ready for unknowns that await them in the Hellmouth below. And with that, I think we can kick off this wonderful new adventure.
Let's go.
What happened?
I might have lied a little bit. I lied a little bit.
Well, that was a good lie.
That was awesome. Is Zach's mic broken?
Yeah.
Third technical difficulty. Zach's mic is broken.
Immediately dips.
Things
Is he
are
gone?
going
Did
well.
he literally left the call?
Great.
Things are going well.
Hello, Zach.
Oh, hold on.
Testing one.
Zach, are you there? All right, we're good.
Testing one.
I can hear you.
Oh my gosh. All right.
Testing one. Testing one.
Can
We
you
got
hear
you.
us?
We got you, Zach.
Hang on.
Zach's
You don't
lost
hear
it.
us. Zach, leave me again.
All right.
And hello.
Hello, can you hear us?
Hi.
I went out
Yes.
right in the middle
Okay.
of that. Wow. Let's pretend like we just watched that epic trailer.
That was so
that we
good.
didn't know was happening. And Caleb, you can hear me fine.
Yep.
Then at that, let's go ahead and turn down the music just a slight tiny bit. Just a little bit. Thank you so much for having me today. Welcome to Into the Hellmouth. Adrenaline, blood pumping, steel clashing, horns charging. The group of you are in this camp. As the sun is setting, you had just defeated multiple members of the Remnant, which is a group of agents that have been trying to steal creatures from this place known as the Maw, which is this unknown danger zone filled with enemies and creatures beyond fathoming. And the Wall, which is part of the Wardens who you work for, is trying to shut down this Remnant force from their naughty deeds. On this first mission, it has been an intense couple hours as you just came for what was meant to be simply information gathering. And now you find yourself facing this hulking minotaur creature from the mall. Everyone, please roll me a narrative initiative, please. Thank you.
Oh.
What dice is feeling lucky?
So the sun is setting. There is the faint smell of a little bit of ozone, and you see this camp that has been kind of overturned by your little crew here. Bodies are laying on the ground of remnant members. Each one of you are damaged and hurt in some small way, but as the Minotaur charges through you, it pauses. Deep, heavy breaths. You can tell that this fight isn't much longer. Can I have anyone between 20 to 15 for initiative?
Do I count here?
You do not, unfortunately, I'm sorry to say.
I would have been.
17.
17 for Matt. All right, thank you.
18 for me.
Oh, 16 for me.
Okay.
And 18 for me.
Okay.
8 for me.
I gotta turn you up a little bit, my mic.
Okay, 8 for you. All right, without any concern of character currency, or even disregarding our level, Miranda, tell me what you would do on the final round of a battle against this creature.
Well, first I would just look at my team members and make sure that they're all gonna make it through this last round. And if everyone seems to be okay, I'm gonna go up and give it a big kick in the face.
Okay. So you look around, you support your allies. It looks like if they will be able to hang on longer than this Minotaur likely will. You run up using your deft abilities, kind of deliver 2 glancing blows to distract it, and then deliver this swift kick to the face as you flip backwards next to your allies. Matt, you see your recently befriended monk. You can't even see her eyes. And actually, Miranda, while you flip back, tell us about what your character looks like and who she is.
All right, well, Rhoda, she's a halfling monk from Elysium. She's like mid-30s. She has ashy brown hair that's up in a bun, a little careless, and she's wearing traditional monk robes in earthy colors, and she has a red scarf tied across her eyes.
Amazing. So as you deal this kick, the creature's face just flies up into the air, and you twirl backwards, landing on the ground. Look around to your allies. Matt, you see her land. You see an opening as this creature flies back, revealing its center of mass. What do you do with your turn?
I cackle madly to myself and take out a grenade from my pouch, arm it for 2 seconds, slide under the creature and stick it in its mouth that she kind of knocked open, and then blow and roll myself away, cackling madly the entire time.
Wonderful. Who you are and what do you look like as you do so?
Yes, I'm Zarzaki Flintbelly. I look like someone took your kind of standard Middle-earth dwarf, set him on fire, hit him with a fire extinguisher, then covered him in all sorts of mechanical engineering inventions. Stout and muscular, but a bit of a dad alcohol belly. He's got fiery red hair and beard that are braided very simply and pushed back with some goggles. Missing lots of patches of body hair, covered in burn scars, lots of permanent grease on his stubby fingers, and just all kinds of inventions all over this scale mail armor.
Yeah. What is this ability that you're using as you toss this grenade into this being?
It's Fireball.
All right, awesome. So you see an opening as you run forward, cast this thing into this creature's mouth. It's massive. It's hulking. It's especially for a dwarf, especially for a halfling that just kicked it in the face. It definitely was not estimating how intense you guys would be. So you slide under his legs, casting this fireball into his head. He's tall enough, you can throw it high enough that it just steers clear of your allies. As you slide under its legs, you look over, and Trevor, could you, what would you like to do with this kind of last round for your character?
Yeah, I think seeing everyone taking their turns, I think Augustine would sprint and leap, like kind of springboard off the ground with like as much power as his little quads can muster, leaping himself into the air, slowly swinging the 6-foot greatsword over his head and bringing it down with a just ferocious yell of just energy and anger and adrenaline on top of the Minotaur.
Amazing. And then what do you look like as you do so?
Yeah, Augustine is 3.5 feet tall. He is a 34-year-old gnome with blonde hair. He has scars all over him. He has a damaged eye. He also has, he wears black half-plate armor that is basically covered in rust, and he has a red split neck cape around himself, and he carries a 6-foot greatsword on his back at all times. Yes, 3.5 feet tall with a 6-foot greatsword. And he has an interesting mechanical arm as well.
Okay. This little guy takes an opportunity to bounce up onto the center of mass as the fireball sends this Minotaur another direction. This is a wide open shot. You slice it right across the chest. You see you essentially disable its left arm. The arm is still remaining on the body, but there's elements of it that have completely knocked it out as you take your sword across his chest. And then last but not least, Aaron, who are you and what do you do as this Minotaur glances down just as you are delivering the finishing blow?
I would run up to it and see if it would try to make any last-minute attacks to my allies and try to put myself in parry any attacks, and as I do, make a blow with my spear into his heart.
Amazing. I think with its final... Tell me what you look like.
I'm a 6-foot tall turtle. Has a relatively modest figure, but not overly muscular. He doesn't wear much armor, but everything he has is put together. His spear and shield are shining. The only thing that's showing wear is his battle-worn shell.
Amazing. So our friend Augustine slides under him, does this blow. The Minotaur tries to take this sweeping glance as Augustine is going beside him as he slashes his body. And then this is when you come in, bounce him with your shell, and then as he goes and opens himself up for an attack by swinging at our gnome friend, you stab the spear straight into the center of its chest. Its eyes roll back in its head, and you can feel the weight of this thing on the end of your spear as it falls to its knees, and then it falls back, sliding off your spear. You all look up, see one another. The remnant forces in this place are gone. A ragtag group like yourself on a first mission, a mission for information, were able to take on a maw creature, something that you shouldn't have been able to do. You look around at each other. You know this mission is not done, but I think there's a mutual understanding that what happened here is something special. So we see just some of the distant smoke kind of drift up into the air. We kind of pan up into the sky as the sun is setting, and the aurora borealis of the sky is kind of dwindling beneath kind of the setting sun. We flow into the space, and then we kind of travel now into the present day. We find ourselves over this massive wall. Imagine the wall of China, and it's surrounding a giant mountainous region. This land, the wall is gigantic. It stretches across the 3 main kingdoms of the world, and even still, it's hard to fathom how long it would even take to get around it, much less through it. It's been 1 week since the destructive beam from the Alsham Lance carved a distant but great hole in the midst of the mall within the wall. Even in the impending war that was declared by the Alkuli Empire and that stretch of land, the Wardens wanted to prioritize their first duty and sent scouts into the mall itself to assess the damage, which in and of itself is a rare occasion. For a Warden to walk into the mall, more often than not, means certain death. However, well, maybe not however, maybe predictably, the scouts failed to report back with their agreed upon check-ins, and more intentional action is now needed. It's at the onset of that solution that we now find ourselves in the space above the wall. We see a beautiful brown falcon flying around kind of our view. And then as it passes us, we kind of follow its wings as we fly in close. We see two figures walking across the wall toward one of the outposts. This falcon takes us close onto the pauldron of a half-orc. This being is a ranger, dressed simply in warden garb. He is overseeing this part of the wall. And he is talking to another figure. Stephen, would you describe yourself, please?
Yeah, I am a relatively short, like 5'4"-ish, red-skinned tiefling, shaved head, black ram's horns, and I am wearing a plain scale mail chest piece with a blue and green embroidered cloak showing a roaring owl bear. And I am walking with a large glaive over my shoulder.
We don't see a Troop 33 anywhere near, but we do, for the precise eyes, recognize this being from our previous campaign. But for now, she is here alongside First Lieutenant Droon. And in the distance, as the sun is setting, still in this transition of scenes, the most recent beam from space, which I would say most Wardens don't truly understand its source, has kicked up a cloud of Omnite that has mixed with the sky and the air and floats above the distant remnants of the mall. And with the sunlight, there's an almost beautiful but more like an eerie green that is coming as the yellow and blue mix. And I think Droon and Arya, when you're walking together, are able to kind of share this moment of understanding the reality of what's coming next. Droon looks over to you and he says, "Are you sure you want to do this?"
Want has nothing to do with it. This is my duty, and I will see it through.
Sorry, Major Arya, I don't mean anything, and I hope you don't mind me speaking freely. I'm just, it's been an honor serving under you after all these months, and you were strong. You were good at this job. I hate to see you... Sorry. Again, I don't mean to displace my rank. I respect you fully, and I would just hate for something to happen to you down there.
It's quite all right. The life expectancy of Warden in the Maw is not exactly high.
Nonetheless, hate for you to be shortening that life expectancy. Go ahead and do me an insight check real quick.
Sure. That was a... dirty 20.
Wow. So I think with this being who has served under you for a while, I think you would know him to be trustworthy, him to be committed to the task at hand. I think there's an element to which he is deeply respectful of you, maybe something further. I don't know if you would allow yourself to see something further.
Probably
but you do
not.
see, yeah, you do. I think with the 20, you would see, I think he is just almost waiting for the opportunity for you to ask him. But I also think, you knowing him and the responsibilities he's kept, he knows with you gone, he has to be in charge of continuing to hold the wall as it is. So I think those are the things that are unsaid as he's walking alongside of you. So you should have received the dossiers of the Vigil. I don't know how much you've heard about them. And I believe the letter that you received a while back from our mutual friend is something that gave you enough of a heads up of what's coming. They're waiting for us now in my room over at the outpost. So you can see just up ahead, there's outposts on the wall are not terribly dynamic. You know, there's just enough place to cut out any kind of natural weather or inclementation from the outside. And, it's nothing crazy. You've probably been here before to plan things, but you guys walk toward it. I think there's an odd sense of, like, you have never met these characters before. This is your first... You only know about them by stories and the dossiers that you've been given. So he kind of makes sure that you guys have been talking about the details of this team. They're strong. They're also unpredictable. It's not that they're untrained. They're just, different as far as the Wardens go. So he walks forward alongside of you. I think there's some silence for a while. His falcon careens off of his shoulder, goes back and kind of does a glancing run around just to kind of continue to keep things watched. Ren is its name, and he watches on as the creature flies. You guys slowly arrive to the door, which is guarded by two just kind of low-level wardens, just beings that are more so there to help support those that are inside. And before you go in, he goes, "Are you sure there's nothing I can say that will cause you to reconsider?"
You know I must do my duty, as must you do yours, Lieutenant Drune. I expect you to hold the wall in my absence.
And at this, I think he has the kind of moment of, acceptance and understanding. He snaps himself to attention and he salutes and he says, "Hold the wall." And he then moves toward the door. He does a slight double knock, and then he opens the door. As the door opens, he kind of looks around the room, and you see this gathering of 4 different beings, and he says, "Major on deck, attention." What do you guys do to a call to attention given to you by a superior officer?
Well, we've probably been timeline-wise, we've probably been away from the camp for a little while, so we probably might be a little slow to react to like the standard salute.
Yeah, I think Czar belches in surprise. He's been drinking something, falls out of his chair.
That's good.
God.
Augustine tries to catch Czar, but he's probably a little too slow on that.
So, Arya, you see before you a halfling, you see a dwarf, you see a gnome, and you see a turtle. Kind of an interesting... not that there's anything wrong with the stereotype of being small, but you have quite a small group in both stature and in size. And you get to glance around for the first time, seeing these beings in person. Drune kind of opens the door, allows you to walk in. He kind of gives you space if you'd like to say or do anything. Otherwise, he's prepared to do the briefing.
I think Arya walks in, takes Addie's posture and just looks over them all for a moment, maybe waits a moment for them to recover from Czar's fit, and then says, "I understand that you, the Vigil, are to be working under me in the Maw on this expedition. I look forward to serving with you and hope that your reputations are not unearned." And then I nod to Lieutenant Drune.
All right, folks, as if you don't already know, the Major here is a phenomenal leader. She has faced many things over her many years in service. I hope that you show her the respect that you would show me or anyone else that is above you. There's not much sense in waiting for this. We'll brief you, and then you'll be able to head out essentially immediately. For those that don't know and who are not aware, and I believe maybe the Major is the only one who does, we sent in 2 Wardens whenever we saw that beam from space. We knew that whatever it was it would kick up some crazy things within the mall, and we certainly have seen increased monster activity because of it. So we sent in two beings that I trust with my life, Adlin and Kithra. Adlin is a Wood Elf Ranger. Kithra is a Lightfoot Halfling Ranger. Both phenomenal scouts. Partners in life as well as their duties in the Wardens. They were very committed. They should have reported back to us 24 hours ago. They missed that window. So unfortunately, when it comes to the mall, we only have to assume the worst has happened. So with each of our Warden scouts, I believe you all should have been trained in this yourselves. We have a symbol-based language called Wardens Can't. That is that we created to essentially communicate directions and communicate other simple messages. It's not most Wardens that have to use this on a normal basis, but this scout party was specifically and explicitly asked to use this to track their path. So we're sending you in to find those scouts, to find those directions. Outside of that, we need you to do what you can to learn about the Hellmouth. That is what we've dubbed this new hole in the mall. And, of course, the third and still important factor is to make it out alive. Because if we send you in and you die, we gain nothing from your loss of life. And he specifically looks at Arya. We gain nothing from any sacrifice you might make down there that you deem worthy of getting out the other side. There's a lot we don't know about the mall, so we ask that you are smart, that you work together as a team, that you leave what reservations that you have with each other on this side of the wall so that we can get to the bottom of what's going on down there. We have prepared a rope to send you down below. Essentially, there's a short stretch of land that is outside of the mall proper, but once you cross that boundary, you're in it, and you're committed. So, all that to say, find the scouts, learn about the Hellmouth, get out alive, and report back to the Wardens. Are there any questions that anyone has before we go further?
During those instructions, I would like to just have been looking at Major Arya the whole time. Can I get a sense of whether she is nervous about doing this mission, or does she feel confident? That's what I'm trying to glean. I don't know if that would be an insight or...
I would say an insight versus either your... if you want to do deception, if you want to do persuasion, if you want to do performance, you don't have to tell us. Just tell us what you roll. Unless you don't want to hide it and you just want to be straightforward, that's an option as well.
Yeah.
Rolled a 7.
I rolled a 10.
Okay. So Arya, what are you emitting right now to the people that are in the room next to you?
I think Arya is, a very practiced commander and is probably as best as possible giving absolutely nothing away. Just total I suppose if anything, just confidence.
Okay. That's what you get. She seems to be, at the very least, she holds her position well. I think with a 7, that's probably about what you get. She's confident, she's holding herself as a leader, and she's unaffected by the information that was just presented. Any questions?
What was the races of the scouts that were sent down first again?
Adlin is a Wood Elf Ranger, and Kithra is a Lightfoot Halfling Ranger.
Sorry, resistant geese. Question?
Yes, sir.
Why were we chosen specifically for this? Obviously, we're best team in Wardens, but shouldn't we have sent less best team down first and send better team down there? It looks very kind of like, is something about us in particular, or just us first?
So with everything, you should be aware. If you're not, I don't understand who has missed the briefing, but with everything going on with the war with the Alkuli Empire, as many forces as possible have been redistributed to that part of the wall. Everywhere else that's not Alkuli has been continues to be reinforced and manned, but definitely less than we would so otherwise. This declaration of war is something that we've had to take seriously. If the Alkuli take that part of the wall, there's no telling what they will continue to do in the months moving forward. I guess it depends on who you ask. Some were surprised by this attack, and others may have seen this coming. But that's neither here nor there, and I'm not interested in hearsay. I simply know that you were a team that was available post your most recent mission and your series of successful events tracking down the Remnant, and Captain Idris is the one that specifically recommended you based upon the information that he had heard about your team.
So, best team. Yes, thank you.
If that's what you need to say, then absolutely. I truthfully have every amount of confidence that I possibly can. Not only because of the stories that I've heard about each one of you, but also because I know the Major, and she is one to be followed. Any other questions before we get this going?
At that point, Augustine would kind of like stand up straight, do the warden salute, looking at Arya, and be like, "Major Arya, it's an honor to serve under you. I've heard many great stories from my father."
Remind me, for me, what your father's name was.
Goju Rokan.
Goju Rokan.
So
Okay.
he was a you would know out of game. I mean, if you want to roll in game some kind of history check, you're welcome to. But I would say very briefly out of game, he was a paladin of the Wardens who served in the south. You had heard rumors that Augustine was born into the Wardens. So whether or not that's true, he was very connected with him. Are you rolling an in-game history check?
Yeah, that was a 12.
I would say you would be familiar with the name. I don't think you know a lot of details, so pair the rumor that you know about Augustine and the knowledge of this name, and I would say you're aware of it. You wouldn't have intimate knowledge. You didn't get debriefed on this information. This is not news to you, but you weren't really given more than what you can think of on the spot.
I suppose Arya would say, well, I'm. It already slipped my mind. It's Goju, right? Goju. Okay.
Yeah, Goku, but with a J. Okay.
Ari would say, well, I'm glad that Goju had such a high opinion of me. And I salute back.
Very well. If there's no other questions, then I would like to draw your attention to our table over here. And he snaps his fingers, and one of the wardens that has just kind of came in the room, has been guarding the door, lays out a series of 5 different kind of pouches. Within the pouches, he kind of indicates that each of you can take a pouch. So you'll find within each of these pouches, we provided for each one of you goggles of night, which should either support or enhance your dark vision abilities within the maw itself, as well as 1 healing potion and 1 greater healing potion each. These are for each one of you. This is the best we could spare, especially given what's going on up north. I pray that it is genuinely beneficial to all of you. So, just so you all know, we estimate, based upon our proximity to where the blast came into the mall, that this travel will take about 3 days in order to get to the Hellmouth. Again, what is between here and there, we have little to no idea, but we do know that the Hellmouth has been opened. You'll need to travel in the dark. You know, the sun is setting as we speak. We need to generate some kind of personal heat source, because fire and other sources will absolutely draw attention if beings underneath us are used to the dark. Omnite is, of course, everywhere, as you are very well familiar, especially within the mall. You will probably, likely, hopefully, get natural blue glow from the Omnite, but beyond that, I would definitely be prepared to rely on your knowledge of darkness. If you can help it, do not push yourself down there. We can only assume what things are happening in the environment itself. We do not know for certain that it is unhealthy or uninhabitable, but we do know it's alien, which means that we are not used to it. So do not push yourself. Exhaustion is a way to set yourself up for failure. It is hard to let a team that I know go to do this, but I know it is a deed that is needing to be done. I have no doubt, as I said before, that you all will be able to do this, but just take care of yourselves. I do want to give you all a chance to connect and acquaint yourself if you need it. I and my guards will take leave for about 10 to 15 minutes or so. We'll come back when you all are ready, equipped, attuned to what you might need, and we will secure the rope down to the mall. He'll straighten up, he'll salute to the major, and then he'll walk out of the room. You'll hear a click behind him as the door closes, and you see the two guards that were with him move outside to the wall. For at least a few minutes, you all have your first chance of being alone with your new member of your party. Is there anything you guys would like to do?
I think Arya would face all of them and say, now, I know that you all must have your own version of a command structure, or at least know how each other works. I expect my orders to be followed promptly and without complaint. But if you have suggestions, please make them. I am not so proud to let my own ignorance fail this mission.
Major Arya, I think I speak on behalf of the group. We are here to serve you. We know that is what is best for Amnesia and for its people. Excellent. I would like to ask if before we go, I would like a moment alone with Rhoda. Rhoda, if you would be so gracious to give the honor of having a brief moment with you alone.
You are muted.
Thank you. Oh, yes, of course.
I think he would kind of awkwardly walk outside of the tent and make sure that she's following him behind.
I will follow him.
I think we'd kind of get out, maybe walk a little bit. It's a beautiful night. Wouldn't you say, Rhoda?
Yes, it feels very nice out.
I think after a few minutes of awkward silence, he'd probably step in front of her and look her in the eyes. My dear Rhoda, I have lived a life many would deem as drenched in blood and sorrow, yet I've always tried to find good, the light. It's something my father always said. The shortness of life often makes it bitterly sweet. So when you find the goodness in life, cherish it. That's when the bitterness, it fades away, leaving only the sweetness. And Rhoda, your wisdom, your strength, your willingness to fight for others who you do not know, that you are goodness and light. We're about to head into pure darkness, and what I'm trying to say is, Rhoda, I want to follow you to the very end, into the very heart of the maw. For every step you take, I want to take with you. I know whatever comes from this hell, you will do what it takes to shield Amnesia. My Rhoda, that is why I love you. And he reaches up underneath his cape and pulls a necklace off. And in his hand is a little ring, and it's gold and tarnished and battered. And he kneels down and looks her in the eyes. Rhoda, would you take this ring and be my wife?
I just need to clarify. You're not looking into my eyes, but that's okay. 'Cause you can't
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's right. I'm looking. That's right. Never mind.
Arya has this thick
right.
red wrapping around her eyes that never comes off.
Yes.
I'm just looking at her.
I think a smile crosses Rhoda's face, and she says, Augie, you are such a great friend. And I just like stand there smiling for a minute.
Augie's just like,
You know, my mother and my father, they were such good friends too, and I don't know if I've told you, but the Wingfoots, it's tradition for the men to be the protectors and the women to be the healers, and the non-traditional part of me knows that I can take care of myself, and that even a man can't save me from many horrors in this world, but the traditional part of me does want that protector, and to be frank, I would love to marry you. Yes.
Augie just went through a wave of emotions right there. He didn't know what was going on, and I think it was hesitantly just slowly shaking and slides the ring on, stands up, says, Rhoda, I know you don't need a protector, but I will serve as one for you. And embraces her with ecstasy, and let's go tell the others, please.
Okay, let's go.
So we slowly come back into the tent.
So meanwhile, crossfade to the rest of the crew, just the three of you sitting there. Are you guys talking?
I'm sure we are. I'm sure Zara is talking. It's rambling.
Probably not. Probably just a bit worried of the news I was just given, so taking it all in.
So we've got a dwarf that's kind of drunk and just chattering. We've got a tiefling who is probably standing at ease, waiting for the rest of the crew to come back, and a turtle who is sitting there quietly.
Probably
Eventually-
praying to Tlapus.
Okay, gotcha.
Would you be doing that audibly?
No.
Okay.
All right. So I think in a few minutes I kind of bust into the tent, really excited. And I see what's everyone doing now that we kind of busted back in, mildly smiling. Honestly, I don't even know if he would care. He would just be like, everyone, great news. Listen, here's the thing. Yes, Tebrum, brother, I just asked Rhoda to marry me, and she said yes. Would you do the honor to lead a ceremony for us before we enter the Maw? And Zar, friend, be my best man.
Zara burst into tears. Tear trails through grime in his cheeks. Yes.
Oh, yes.
You mean right now?
Yeah, right now, before we go to the Maw. We are so excited. Major Ara, please join us. Be a witness to this glorious event. Please. It would be an honor for you to attend this. I know we have to go, but please, come to the ceremony.
I think Arya, without a word, turns and leaves the tent.
mildly disappointing, but nonetheless, we need the ceremony.
Sorry, I've never done this before. I've been waiting for a long time to do this. I rummaged through my pack. I think I have a script for this, and I pull off my backpack looking for something. Oh, here it is. You guys both ready? That for context, I do have the ceremony spell prepared and can
Beautiful.
officiate a wedding.
Very smart.
We are gathered here today to celebrate the union of Rhoda and Augustine. In their journey through peril and triumph, they have found not only a companion, but a partner for life. In the presence of their dearest friends and allies, they pledge their heart and lives to each other. As they embark on this new adventure together, let us bear witness to their vows and support them as they step into this new chapter. Rhoda and Augustine, you have chosen to stand together as partners in life. Do you vow to support one another through all the challenges and joys, to cherish each other's strengths, and to help each other grow? Will you stand by each other's side through both light and shadow, in life and beyond, as we go into the maw? And I looked at both of them.
I do.
I do.
Wonderful. Then by the powers vested in me by Clipus, Argentum, Dautrina, and Aquitus, I pronounce you partners for life. With a +2 bonus to your AC for the next 7 days, you may now seal your vows with a kiss.
Oh my gosh, not the music.
Oh, yes.
So for those that are watching, I did not know this was happening. And I also told our characters at the beginning multiple times, don't get attached. So we're going to cut over to Arya as she leaves this kind of like tent area. I think Droon looks up. You see that he is the faint, it sounds like prestidigitation of ceremony music is drifting off in the background. You see Droon as well as the others are securing the final, just multiple supporting knots along kind of a anchor point on the wall, and they have the rope assembled. It's probably about 100+ feet drop. He turns toward you and he says, "Is everything okay, Major?"
I think Droon, knowing Arya pretty well, could probably see that she is unsettled.
He immediately looks to his two guards and says, "Can you check on the Vigil, please?" And they salute. They run in to just make sure that everything is okay in there. Whatever caused the source of unsettling. Are you going to be okay? Are we running into any problems?
It seems that 2 of the Vigil have just gotten married.
Okay. Like literally right now?
Literally right now.
Okay.
I can only hope that this does not become a distraction for them.
I certainly hope the same. I believe that they're professional enough to not let this stop them, and hopefully, if anything else, this helps them to fight harder. I know that the 2 that went into the mall previously were also together, and there seems to be a theme here. Sorry that this is happening, Major. If I had known this was happening, I would have made sure it was resolved days ago. I accept responsibility for this unexpected last-minute problem.
As much as I appreciate your willingness to accept responsibility, this is not something that you could have known. I do not blame you. Only those involved.
Yeah. I do not believe that marriage is such a bad thing, but I believe on the onset of a mission like this, you have to be fully into the mission. I can go talk to them if you would like, if you need a moment.
I don't think that will be necessary. Thank you, Droon.
Of course.
And I think Arya, in a rare moment of non-professionalism, holds out a hand to Droon and then brings him in for a short embrace.
I think it's kind of a surprised, but like he returns it. Eyes are kind of wide. Major, you are going to be okay. You're going to figure this out. If I can give you any kind of reassurance, that is the reassurance I have for you right now.
It will be what it will be. Hold the wall.
Hold the wall. We cut over to the tent. At this point, the two guards have come in, and one of them procured a bottle of brandy hidden in one of the cupboards. And for some reason, it's turning into some kind of weird celebration. I think at some point you see Droon kind of like drift in, and I think you all kind of sense his presence. He kind of looks around and he immediately shoots two like eyes of daggers at his other guards. They immediately straighten up. They like one of them tosses a drink over his shoulder that he definitely wasn't drinking, and they run back out to the rope. I guess congratulations is in order. I'm sorry to break this celebration up, but we do have something important in front of us. Is this going to be a distraction for the events ahead? We do not know what's coming, and I do not want to make sure that the Major is supported properly.
Speaking of the Major, does anybody know if she's single? No? Because all of this thing about marriage has gotten me thinking. He looks around. Maybe not. I'll save that for if we survive. Don't forget it.
I think his green skin turns into like a greenish red as he like for the first time is really expressing anything, as he shoots you down with his eyes alone.
Oh no! Okay, never mind.
Are we ready to go?
We are ready to go.
All right. Just so you guys know, in case you haven't looked up the item yet, the Goggles of Night give you dark vision if you do not already have it, and if you do have it, it doubles your dark vision. So please make sure you keep a note on that. And then also, you guys are responsible for your healing potions, so if you lose track, that is not on this guy.
Can you repeat what the healing potion inventory was one last time? I didn't catch all of it.
One healing potion and one greater healing potion per person, as well as a Goggles of Night per person. Rhoda, you are welcome to take them. I know you do not necessarily need them in the traditional sense, but you're welcome to them regardless. Okay. So, just to kind of speed things along here, you guys settle your drinks. you get everything together that you need. You gather your packs, you prepare, and then you all line up across the wall. And Droon goes kind of one last time. He does a salute. He says, "Hold the wall."
Hold the wall.
Hold the wall.
What is the official salute? We all did something different, I think. Okay. Yes. Hold the wall.
I think he just sees you all do different things, and there's a subtle moment of worry in the back of his mind, but nonetheless, he allows you guys to climb down. There's a central hempen rope, very secure, very fresh, very new. There's about 100-foot drop, give or take, into the mall itself. Does anyone in particular take the first jump down?
I think Arya takes the honor of going first.
Okay. I think that you're able to get down without problems. I'm not going to make you roll for this one. You take the lead. You are the leader of this crew. You go to the bottom. Do me a quick perception check at the bottom, please.
Yikes. 4.
Okay. You get to the bottom of the mall. You don't see anything in particular. You see, if you don't mind, Caleb, cutting to our view of the mall, you see what almost is like just this vast field, this mountainous, regionous area of just glowing omnite. There's fog drifting almost as if it's alive in the distance. From this current angle, you can't see whatever hole was created that is now called the Hellmouth, but you know its general direction. You know the way to go, and as of now, you are above this kind of settled fog that has glanced over this Omnite field. Who goes next?
I think I always take up the rear.
Oh.
Yeah.
Go for it. Yeah, I think I always take up the rear with range stuff.
All right, Rhoda.
Rhoda's hopping down?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, do me a quick perception check as you kind of like pull yourself up to the rope and start to slide down the wall.
26.
Jeez. Okay. So you slide down, you see everything that I just described. In particular, though, you have spent some time with kind of an extra, what would be the way to say it? Extra awareness of the environment that's around you. And as you kind of look, the sun is almost set at this moment. There is a shadow that is cast, your shadow against the wall itself. And as you kind of slide down, you see the shadow take a form, and there's a smile in the form, which you're not unfamiliar with. And you glance to the bottom and are able to stand next to Arya. Who's next?
I probably would to stay as close to the middle of the group as I can.
Okay. Do me a perception check.
10.
10. Okay. You slide down the rope, and you hear just in the back of your mind, just this little laugh you've heard before. You slide down to the bottom, see the same thing. Trevor, you said you'd go, or Matt's staying last?
Yeah, I'd go right before Matt.
Okay. I think as you're starting to get on, you see Droon clasp your shoulder. Stay focused on the mission. Please. Get out alive so you can celebrate what just happened.
Nods.
All right. He lets you go. Give me a perception check.
13.
Okay. You see the same thing as everyone else. Well, not everyone else, but you see the same environmental view. And then finally, our buddy Czar, bringing up the rear.
Yes.
Before you go, Drin stops you. He pats you down. He finds a bottle of liquor on your sock, yanks it out, and then passes you onto the rope. Give me a perception check as you slide down.
I sigh a little bit. That's middling. 12.
Okay. I think you just see his salute and a smirk on his face as you bring up the rear. So, the Vigil. Now in the mall proper, you begin to move toward the direction. You know that from here, it's a direct shot to the Hellmouth itself. But you can see from this view alone that there are going to be lots of dips and recesses and elements that you are going to have to traverse. But unless if anyone else wants to do anything different, you can start toward the Hellmouth.
So how, is it a little bit foggy, you said? Like a little dark?
Yeah, so I think as the sun is fully setting behind the clouds, you guys all have the ability to, whether you have night vision or you're using the goggles, you're able to generally see the landscape. I think Omnite is scattered all throughout the mall, so there's a perpetual blue glow. I think it's like a dull glow. It's like you have a nightlight on in the late night where it's just enough to see, but not enough to make out really anything too particular. And that's probably about what your view currently is. You can tell that there is fog deeper down. What that means, you don't quite know yet with being on this side of the landscape. Okay. So you guys move toward the mall? Okay. All right, so you guys move forward. You begin to kind of just see as you travel over the course of minutes, half an hour, the kind of the mountains of Omnite get taller as you go deeper. Almost envision imagine the Everest was flipped upside down. You're always going on this constant downward slope as you traverse the rocks and the mines and the structures that have picked out among everything else that's going on. Out of game, a normal travel takes about 8 hours until you need to long rest, and that's the kind of method that we'll be following today. If you have a desire to push past those 8 hours, you'll need to make a Constitution saving throw every 4 hours in order to avoid exhaustion. You've been warned about exhaustion, but it's ultimately up to you if that's the path you'd like to pursue. So, what I'm going to need throughout the course of this 8-hour chunk is several survival or otherwise justified checks to track down the scouting paths that have been left in Warden's Cant. So as we near kind of the first chunk of the journey, can I either have some kind of searching check, let me know what it is, whether that's one person's doing it or all of you are doing it. There's advantage and disadvantages of them both. And then finally, a variant rule that we enjoy using is you can only give a help action to someone if you are proficient in that skill. So if you are proficient in survival, you can give someone a help action, but if you are not, you cannot.
Okay.
So, who would like to make a check?
I can make a survival check.
I could as well, or assist, either way.
Either way. I'm pretty
I am not going to
proficient.
help with that at all, but I will guide somebody. If I can, I don't know if I can guide someone because I know it's an overtime thing.
I will say... I will say probably not, because I think this is a kind of extended tracking period where you're seeing and sensing different points and different things. So I would say probably not on the guidance, but someone could assist if you're equipped to do so. I will also say one check will kind of sustain the team, so whether that's a group check where everyone rolls and we take the average, or one single person that's doing the brunt of this.
Yeah, I'm going to be no help with this, guys.
Rhoda has better. She's survived a lot more with the blindfolds over her eyes, so she might.
What does yours look like, Arya? I'm at a 7 for my survival.
I'm only 5, so go ahead.
Yeah.
She's OP.
Okay, so we see our
Alright.
monk take the front as she is starting to look down and around. Arya, I think what's interesting about watching this monk in action is this rumored thing that's tied around her head. In your experience in the field, like, I mean, you have to see. So something, how she has trained herself to be operating in this way is unique to you, especially. What is your role? And is anyone helping her?
Oh, yeah.
I will ask before I
help.
hear the results. You're proficient in survival?
I am.
Okay.
So
Then you get
is this
advantage on the
advantage
survival
then?
roll.
Right,
Yes,
okay.
correct.
Okay, thank you. All right. Just making sure. Oh, that's a lot better. That is a 26 again.
Jeez, a 26. As I'm watching out for kind of like the levels of our rolls today, 15 is like a bronze, 20 is like a silver, 25 is like a gold, and then 30 is like a platinum. We are level 9, so we'll see if we can get up to that 30 level or not, but you did get up to that gold. So I think immediately what you see is just this series of nicks and marks and directional items and things that, you know, for people that aren't looking for what they need to be looking for, they wouldn't know. But you do. You have spent a lot of time in this kind of thing. You are very proficient in survival, and as you glance through, you're able to easily guide your crew through stalagmites, and there's stalactites that have kind of been built into walls, and even like rocks that are unsteady that you're able to test and then stop people from stepping on. Yeah, you're able to get there without problem. This initial stretch of this survival is absolutely, like, you have gone out of the way to make this effective for your team. And I think with that as well, I wouldn't even make you make a check for this. At some point on the stretch of this first survival jump, you get to the edge of a genuinely large ravine. There's a sheer cliff face that goes down. With that survival check, you would know that the signs are pointing this direction, and too much deviation left or right to avoid this ravine is going to be difficult. So it seems with your survival, the next way out is down. You guys, Rhoda, go ahead and do me a perception check with advantage, please.
That is 22.
Jeez, let's go. Get those good rolls out of the way now. You are able to, as you're getting up to the edge here, you see almost like subtly disguised is this grappling hook that has been situated around pythons that have been initiated into the top wall. You would recognize this very quickly as a piece of gear from a Warden's kit. So you're able to find that there's already been something situated that, of course, the scouting party must have come through here. You're welcome to check it out if you'd like, or you can make your own if you want to use a rope to go down, or you could freestyle. By all means, freestyle down this wall.
What do you guys think? Should we check out the one that's already here? And then determine if we should secure our own rope down?
I would secure our own rope down. We don't know if they just fell off that rope. And
can we see how far down how deep it goes?
Matt, go ahead and make me a perception check, please.
Okay.
As you this dwarf waddles up to the edge and takes a little glance over to see what he can see.
My rolls are actually getting worse. It's a 4.
Okay, I think that there is kind of like this settled fog at the bottom, and it covers up the very bottom of the kind of wall, makes it a little difficult for you to see exactly what's going on down there. So I would say at the very least 50, 75. Who knows what's beyond that?
I'm gonna look at everybody else and be like, yes, you remember that one time we took out the remnant camp on top of the cliff and everybody thought I'd rolled over the edge and died, but I did not, because I have that one spell. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm going to go jump off the edge now, okay? Anybody with me?
Wait.
How many people
hold
can
on,
you
Zara.
take with you, Zara?
I can take 5 people can jump off the edge with me.
Oh. Okay.
Okay.
I just want to clarify, Jar, you are going to see us safely to the bottom, yes?
Yes.
Yeah. It didn't.
No
hurt
broken
too bad.
bones?
Yes.
No.
Soft as landing on pillow. Except not pillows Warden had. Very hard pillows. Yes,
get ready
we'll
to
get you there
jump.
safely. All right, great. We jumped in. He's gonna fall backwards off the cliff.
Augustine follows and runs and jumps.
Then I'm gonna cast Featherfall as a
How many
reaction.
people jump? Are you trusting this dwarf for this magic? How many of you jump?
Oh, I jump.
I'm gonna
Cannibal.
Yeah.
I'm gonna jump.
Yeah, we know this. We're good.
Are you
The
good with
Vigil
them as
knows.
well? The Vigil knows. Are you trusting this move?
Awesome, Matt.
Arya is going
great.
to grip her glaive very tightly and just take a step off the cliff.
So I think the Vigil kind of
awesome.
like everyone jumping into a pool
Yeah,
party.
we're just, like,
like everyone's
flipping
like
back.
gleefully jumping down, like excited. You've done this before, but Arya has this stern stepping off the edge. And then Matt, you cast Featherfall, yes?
Yes, I think it's kind of like small devices I throw out that hits each person like a mini anti-grav unit.
Cool.
And
Very
we
cool.
just basically float to the ground.
So like the short-term like mechanical unit is able to kind of give this hovering heft to each person, kind of dipping back the speed in which they fall. Just confirming, you can hit everyone with the level that you're casting?
Yep, up to 5 falling creatures, and we fall 60 feet per round for a minute. If we land before the spell ends, which, dear God, it'd have to be really deep to not, we take no falling damage. We land on our feet and spell ends.
Awesome. Love it. I was going to say, if you just let Arya fall right now.
That'd be... no, I want her to like me. She needs to like me, yes. No,
Awesome.
Zara takes care of team. No, yes.
I love this. So like the secret agent crew, as you guys are jumping off, without any kind of like safety net, you're just trusting this magic to take place. The magic snaps, these devices come out and slow your fall. You guys fall for 25, 50, 75, 150, 200, and then finally it settles down at the bottom as you guys land at the
That
bottom.
perception check was really bad then.
What you do notice, though, to your credits are, as you pass kind of a certain height, the fog kind of thickens up. It's not difficult to breathe. It's just you guys almost pass this, like almost the outer crust of the warden or of the mall, and then you kind of pass this fog. You now have this heavy fog, and I think each of you recognize as you're passing through this like layer of this sky fog, you look up and you see just the last couple glints of the nighttime borealis in the sky before it's completely covered by this fog. So you land at the bottom. You see this. I mean, it's a ravine. It's rocks. It's stalagmites on the ground. Omnite is giving a gentle glow all around, but you guys are able to land. Do you guys attempt to do so quietly? Do you just kind of land and continue to move on? What do you guys do next as you kind of settle at the bottom of the cliff?
Oh, Augustine would for sure try to land Iron Man pose with his sword just jammed into the ground.
Okay, I'm going to have to ask you for a performance check.
Okay, performance? Okay.
Don't worry, no bad things will happen outside of being embarrassed.
Okay, I got a good roll. We're good. 17.
Okay, yeah, you're able to pull off a very straightforward superhero pose. What did you do with your sword? You're landing with your sword on the ground?
Yeah, just right in front of him. He's kind of tucked behind it because it's like this. And then he just
Very nice. So you guys land, and what do you guys do as you do so?
I
Are
think
you guys
Arya
sitting there for a minute? Are you
immediately-
talking? What do you? Yeah, go ahead.
Arya immediately comes up with glaive at the ready and just starts looking around for any danger.
Okay.
Yep.
Go and do me a perception check. Or it sounds like multiple people are looking. Is that what's happening?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then everyone do me a perception check, please.
I'm ready to fight. Augustine needs it.
I think I'm going to forgo the perception check. So
Yeah.
the fog you said is deeper down here?
Yeah, the fog is thick. It's not anything you can't see through at the moment. It just
Right.
kind of limits far vision, I guess.
Then
Essentially,
while-
go ahead.
Oh, yeah. I was going to say, while they're all doing perception checks, I'm going to use one of my magical tinkering, and I'm going to imbue my... Oh, God, I don't have anything fun. A python, a hammer. A small hammer with 5-foot radius of light, just a little bit to cover, just a very dim light around us to light up the very immediate area while they're all looking around.
Okay, and what I'll say is your guys' goggles do allow you dark vision within, I believe it's 60 feet, and then you have a low light vision for about 60 feet beyond that, I believe. So if you're going to cause this light, that's totally fine. Just kind of let me know what is the color, what is the make of this light as you cast it.
It's probably blue, so it looks like all night, so it doesn't set off any alarms of anything down here, and it's very kind of dim, just enough for us to see the ground at our feet, basically. I mean, it's only 5 feet of radius.
Yeah, absolutely.
I got an 11.
Got an 18.
Okay. 18. Awesome.
Nat 20.
Nat.
Nice.
Very, very nice. Dang, Rhoda, you are rolling hot tonight. Trevor, are you
know.
rolling?
You don't want to know what I got. So I got a 1, but it wasn't a natural 1. It was because I'm just so bad.
Okay, sounds good. I think you guys, you guys pass through. Rhoda, you've been on point. You're aware of the survival moments, and then as you pass by, you see just out of the glint corner of your eye, as you're arriving at the bottom, your speed. You guys are kind of unnoticed, but then as you get to the bottom, Czar turns on a light. You hear something just skittering out of the wall itself, like some kind of hole. And if it wasn't for that nat 20, it would have got a surprise round on you. But you see these 3 creatures' tentacles lash out at you, and I think because of that nat 20, you're able to cry out and make sure everyone is aware that there are 3 enemies attacking. Everyone roll initiative, please.
Yeah, let's go.
Everyone gets a +4 to their initiative if they're 10 feet within me.
Hot
Yes.
dang.
Let's go. +4.
Wow.
All right, so hold on to your initiatives as you're calculating that. What you see is there are these 3 creatures that It's like these brains with these long arms with these tentacles at the bottom. There's this like weird falcon beak right in the middle of the brain as these things are descending. They're hovering. They're not flying, but it looks as if they had some kind of overhang underneath the wall itself that they were able to hide up and under, waiting for prey to come and just easily ambush them. They rolled a 22 on their stealth, so if it wasn't for Rhoda, you guys would be ambushed.
Wow.
But right now, with your skill and ability and talent, you watch out for these creatures as they approach. Trevor, what did you get on your initiative?
That was a +4, correct, Aaron?
Yep.
13.
Dang, let's go.
Not great.
Tebrim,
8.
8. Czar,
Well, did you believe this is the second 2 I've rolled tonight? 7.
7. And Matt always has unfortunate, terrible rolls as a player, so good to see you're keeping up. Major
I
Arya,
had
what do you
bad
got?
rolls as a DM too. I just rolled so many.
12.
12, awesome. Okay, and then Rhoda.
19.
19. My gosh, let's go. Okay,
And Rhoda's rocking it.
Let's go. Yeah, she is
My
getting all
Guillory
the...
D20
Which one?
that you got me, Steven. Yeah.
Oh, that's
It's my
awesome.
Guillory D20 that he got me for Christmas.
I can take credit for that, I think, then.
Okay, very, very cool. So, I know that not everyone is familiar with Theater of the Mind. What I'm going to do is do the best that I can to describe the approximate region that you are to these creatures. These 3 beings, these 3 grells, have kind of hovered down very, very quickly and swiftly and quietly, trying to wrap their tentacles around you. Their beaks are biting at this, and then they're trying to push towards you. But Rhoda, because of that nat 20, ironically, you are also going first on the initiative. So you see one growl that I would say is about 15 feet from you, one is 20, and then one is 30. What would you like to do?
Okay. I am going to run up to the closest one.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to hit it with an unarmed strike, and I'm also going to spend a key point to use my Hand of Harm.
Beautiful, beautiful. Okay, go ahead and roll your to hits.
— 16 to hit.
Yeah, 16 hits.
Cool. That's 9 bludgeoning damage.
Very nice.
And then with my Hand of Harm, I get to deal an extra 1d6 plus 3 necrotic damage.
Very, very cool. Do it.
Nice.
Get him, Rhoda.
That's an extra 4 damage.
Okay.
And then with my Physician's Touch, I would like to put that creature into the poisoned condition, which doesn't cost an action to me.
Very cool. Yeah, let me just check its things. Yes, it can absolutely be poisoned. This creature is now poisoned. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So that's disadvantage on attack rolls, I believe?
Yes, and ability checks, I think, which I don't know if it'll be doing any of that, but...
Yeah, yeah. Okay, copy. Anything else you'd like to do on your turn?
And then... I'll probably just stay where I am. And then do I need to roll...
Yes, I would like you to make a
charisma
charisma
check?
saving throw, please. DC 12.
Okay. That is an 8.
Okay. So, Rhoda, fortunately in this instance, the being that is closest to you is this creature you were just attacking. Nonetheless, so you're going to spend your reaction to attack it one more time, please. And then also I would like you to let us know, what does it look like as this happens? I don't know if your party has seen this before or not.
Yeah. You can probably see Rhoda's posture change a little bit. Like, she's usually very standing tall, moving very like fluidly, gracefully, and then you notice her kind of like crumple a little bit and attack this Grell with a lot more ferocity than she would usually have, I would say.
All right, do it.
All right. A Grell. Oh, you don't know what it is, yeah. That's a 15 to hit.
That ties. Meets it, beats it.
Okay. And
For what it's
damage.
worth, it's Grell, not grill, like on your teeth. You're not fighting,
Gravel.
teeth. Yeah. What would you say? 8 damage, you said?
That would be
Yes.
terrifying. Fighting teeth? I
Fighting
would not.
teeth.
I don't like that at all. Please don't use those monsters.
Let me make some notes
Yeah,
for
make some
later.
notes for
Don't
that.
use the teeth monster. Got it. Okay, so you see Rhoda kind of take this for this very brief moment. There's this unnatural speed, and you don't quite know if it's like the playing of the light in the mall and the shadows, but her shadow almost grows long as she does this glancing blow, and then Rhoda, only you hear hunger as you attack this creature, and then you're going to, in the process, get half that damage back as temporary HP until the
Start of my next turn.
start of your next turn. Correct. Yep. Okay. And then I believe, do you have any more action economy? Have you moved, or is there anything else you'd like to do, or is that your turn?
I do have a little more action if I only move 15 feet. Let me see.
You're welcome to move if you'd like. Just know it will get an attack of opportunity as you do so.
All right. I think I'll just stay where I am
Okay.
and just attack him the next time.
All right. Well, that creature that just attacked, it just kind of reels back as you get these 3 glancing blows in on its body. It's going to attack you, and unfortunately, it's poisoned, so it has disadvantage. So that's going to be 1 attack as its tentacle glances by your body, and then it's going to be a second attack. The first one definitely misses. The second one is going to be a 14 to hit.
That doesn't hit.
What is your AC up to now with your marriage?
Oh, I forgot about that. It's up to 20 now.
Jeez. I'm gonna have
there
to
is-
pump some bonuses into these monsters.
That bonus goes away if they aren't within 30 feet of each other. So
Okay.
just throw
Oh,
that out.
yeah.
Or if one of them dies.
Keep an eye on
Or
that.
if one
But
does.
since you said you still have 15 movement speed, I would assume you are within range in this instance. So this creature, this Grell, makes 2 slash attacks with his tentacles, trying to like pierce out, and it almost looks like there's this like staticky motion as it tries to hit you. Both of them miss. The next one next to him is going to fly over. He sees that you are a formidable being, and he's going to make 2 attacks. The first is going to be a 19 to hit, which we established will not hit, and the second one is absolutely going to miss. So once again, this other Grell is going to make these glancing blows at you. You're able to dodge out of them with your monk abilities as it fully misses. Augustine, it is your turn with Major Arya on deck. Trevor, you are Augustine.
Oh, I'm sorry. I heard Arya on deck, and like my computer froze. I'm sorry.
Oh, you're good. You're good, bud.
Okay.
You're up with Arya
Okay.
on deck.
Perfect. So the 3 Grells are surrounding.
2 are right on Rhoda, and then
Okay.
there is another that is about 30 feet away, kind of the most distant from the group of the 2 close. So from you at the moment, you're probably about 45 feet from the furthest one, and you're about 15 feet from the other 2 that are surrounding Rhoda.
Okay, I'm gonna rush up to one of the ones. Let's just say the one that hit her first. That she attacked. I know there was a little damage there, and
Yeah.
I am going to take a swing at it with my giant greatsword.
Get it.
Running up. Ah! That's a 19.
Absolutely hits.
Okay. Damage on that, a 9.
9. Awesome.
I'm gonna take another swing. At
Same one?
Same one, yeah.
Okay.
18 to hit.
Absolutely.
Okay. That's a 10 for the damage.
Beautiful. Wow, this thing is looking rough. If it's possible for a brain with a beak to be in pain, you kind of just hear these like clicking and noises as you're slashing into it. Parts of this exposed brain and a couple of its tentacles get cut off as you are slashing and hacking at the being that is now attacking your wife. Anything else you'd like to do?
Yeah, I think he's really excited. This is the first combat. It's been a while since their last mission. He's going to go ahead and run an action surge.
Oh, nice.
And with that, I am going to take another attack at the one that I just hit.
Beautiful. Go for it.
17 to hit.
Absolutely.
10 damage.
10 damage. This thing is on death's door, but it is still alive and barely hovering above your bride.
Okay.
Heck of a honeymoon, huh?
Yeah, that's great. Let's see. Let's see here with my last action. Let's see. Do I want to do this? Yeah, let's have some fun. All of a sudden, after the blade kind of swings down, hits the grill, and he kind of like shakes his arm, like locks it into position, and all of a sudden these like mechanical vents kind of start popping open, and like steam is rushing out of it, and he pulls his hand open like this, and a fireball. 3 fireballs, it's Scorching Ray is what I'm going to use, come out of his mechanical hand, and he yells, Rokon Blast! And I would like to try to hit these grills, one ray at each of the grills.
Real quick question for you. You said you used Action Surge, then you wanted to hit with a weapon, and then you want to cast a spell. The Action Surge
that is a spell. My bad.
You're welcome to take back the 10 damage and do this epic move instead, if you want.
Yeah, let's take it back. Let's take it back to 10 damage, and let's do
Okay,
the
you already
epic.
cut off its brain. You already cut off some of its tentacles, and now you unleash this blast of fire from your arm. I think immediately the creature, though it does not have eyes, it recoils from the bright flash of this fire. Go ahead and do your damage, or attacks, I guess.
Yeah, I need to roll to see if it hits first.
Okay. Are you aiming all of them at the one that's damaged, or are you spreading them out?
I'm going to spread them out. I want one for each one. Just we'll deal a little damage on all of them.
Go for it.
Remaining business. 16 for the first one.
Hits.
First damage is 5, so he's
beautiful.
hurt.
Yes, he's
not
very
much.
hurt. Yep.
Second one, 19. That will
Absolutely.
hit. For 2. Not great. So that will be the one next to us.
Okay.
And let's run with that's a 16.
Absolutely.
Oh, I'm sorry, I just rolled the wrong dice on that one. 9 for that last blast.
Very nice.
And that's on the furthest one away.
Cool. Cool. Okay. Great. So you do these powerful slashes with your swords, and then you pull your arm back, this mechanical arm, an invention created by a friend that releases this blast against these floating creatures. Anything else you'd like to do on your turn?
No, that's it for now. I'm bracing for attacks.
All right, Major Arya with Tebrim on deck.
I would like to run, if I can, around to sort of the opposite side of the group, so that I'm between the Grells that are attacking my team and the Grell that's further away.
Sure.
And then take a couple of swipes at the injured one.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah, absolutely, totally fine. So you kind of get within its range as you do so, but you kind of flank this creature that is, like I said, it's on death's door. It's not looking great. Go ahead and do your damage, or your attacks, I should say.
Yep. That is a 23 and
Absolutely.
Well, okay, maybe I should resolve.
Yeah, do
the
your
first
damage
one.
first. Yeah, do your damage first on the first one.
Okay. 8 damage.
8 damage. Oh man, it's barely hanging on.
Oh, bummer.
Go ahead, do your second attack.
tanky boys.
I'm actually going to use my bonus action half strike with my glaive.
Cool.
See if I can't finish him off with that, and then hopefully use my other attack. So I'll just use the roll I already did. So that is a 18 to hit.
Yes, absolutely. Go and tell me how you finish it. There's no way you will not be able to kill this creature.
I think Arya sort of spins her glaive and slices up with the blade, and on the follow through smacks it across the beak with the haft and sends it to the ground.
Awesome. I love this. So all of you see Arya, your new leader, come in and finish off this creature deftly. Absolutely skilled, and she does it in a way that is almost like beautiful to watch as she slaughters this creature, this being, this aberration in the depth of the maw. And one is down, and she hasn't even broken a sweat. Is there anything else you'd like to do on your turn?
Yeah, I believe I have one attack left from my action, so I'd like to... Am I within melee? To clarify, am I within 10 feet of the other... Okay. Yeah. I would like to, if possible, stay 10 feet away from it, and make my attack from a bit of a distance.
Okay, go for it.
That is a 21.
Absolutely hits. These are
7 damage.
Brains with legs. 7 damage. Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Love it. Anything else you'd like to do?
That is everything I have.
Very nice. All right, go for it, Tebrim, with Zar on deck.
Would like to run up within melee range of the tentacle everyone's been attacking and hit it
The
a couple
first one
times
is
with my
dead,
spear.
but yes, you are now
Or the second one.
in the breath of the second one at the moment, so go for it.
Attacking with my spear. 15 to hit.
Absolutely.
9 damage.
Awesome.
Doing it again. 12 to hit. So probably not.
I misspoke earlier. It has an AC of 12, so meets it beats it. It does not have an AC of 15. In hindsight, I should have just hidden that, but yes, it does hit.
11 damage.
Beautiful.
And then with my bonus action as Polar Master, I'm going to attack it again.
Awesome.
Nice.
Go for it. And this is a polearm you're attacking each of these things with, right?
A spear.
A spear,
But
okay.
that counts, yeah.
Cool.
13 to hit.
13, that hits.
That is 7 damage.
Woo-wee. This thing went from looking really great to not doing so hot as you just kind of like piercing, glancing blows with this spear. Is there anything else you'd like to do?
Would I be able to make sure I'm within, or am I within 5 feet of which allies?
Yeah, I mean, I think that you could get either Arya and Augustine or Augustine and Rhoda. I would say you have to choose
the following two.
Okay.
Augustine and Rhoda.
Hey, screw Arya.
Arya don't need you.
Arya don't need you.
I just married these two. I haven't done some
Yeah. He was our priest.
All right, Matt, go for it, Czar. What you got going back here? You see your friends are right. I mean, not that fireball's your default move, but your friends are within range of the Grell, and there's another one that's still 30 feet from you that is pretty well isolated at the moment. He hasn't gotten to go yet.
And the one Grell is looking pretty bad, and the other one is not been touched.
Yes, the other one's not been touched. So,
can I get the two Grells in a line? I don't care if my friends are in the way or not.
What is the length of the line that you need to connect these?
30 feet.
You will have to get. I would say you have to use all your movement to get like literally right in front of the one Grell, and you can just get the other Grell in its spot. I think I think at this angle, it's danger close, but I think you're gonna just miss Arya if you do that. But you will be right next to the Grell that's injured. That's the only way.
Okay, never mind then.
Yeah.
Arya is up against the one Grell. Okay, I won't get that close then. Instead, I'll go ahead and get about 15 feet behind Arya. Like, I'm going to go through her with a Burning Hand spell.
Okay.
Except,
yeah,
I'm an evocation wizard, so I can technically make her succeed automatically on the spell, and she takes no damage. So first, a small device will go out, a little drone, and put a protective shell around you as fire. I'll pull like a nozzle out, just flamethrow it.
Amazing. This burst of fire, same kind of effect as this Grell is trying to reel back from it. I believe you need a save from me.
Yeah, dex save, and I think I'll cast that at a first level just for now.
Okay, sounds good. Dex save, that's going to be a 17.
17.
These are dexterous level.
That ties.
That ties. Okay. So go ahead and roll your damage.
Oh god, that was a bad roll of damage. It's a half to 3, I guess.
Half to 3, yes. Hey, damage is damage. So yeah, this creature, I think being already damaged by the burning hands, kind of like reels back, and it just kind of like glances off of part of its brain matter, but it's not significant damage. Anything else you'd like to do with your turn?
No, that is it.
Okay, so then this last Grell, the one that is the furthest from everyone, I think it's going to. Let me roll a little luck check. Who does he think is more problematic, the Flamey Boy or the horned one? I think he's going to go toward the horned one then. So he, from behind, hovers over Major Arya and then makes 2 attacks.
Before he does that,
yes, sir.
Just to clarify, he was more than 10 feet away from me before. Indeed. Okay, as it enters my 10-foot range, I'm going to use my reaction as a polearm master to make an attack.
Very nice. Ooh, go for it.
That is a 17.
17 hits.
And it takes 10 points of damage and also can no longer move.
Wow.
Because I'm also a sentinel.
Let's go. Nice. Sentinel. Okay, so how close is it to you?
10 feet.
10 foot? I'm sorry to say that even at that range, its tentacle lances out at you. And that's going to be, the first is going to be a 14 to hit.
14 does not hit.
Okay, the second one's going to be an 18 to hit.
Does hit.
Oh, finally! Okay. So first, you feel this tentacle lance out, and you do this devastating blow, and I think you're almost maybe a smidgen, like, overconfident as its, like, tentacle whizzes by you, you dodge, but then the other one comes and fully smacks you right up in the face as you are overwhelmed with kind of this piercing damage as it, like, glances into your, kind of around your neck. That's going to be 9, and then I'm going to need a con saving throw from you, please.
Am I within 10 feet of Arya?
Yes.
So I don't think I need it because... Okay, well, I'll take it. That was a natural 20 for a total of 31.
Yeah, I mean, I think you just kind of like deal with it. The one, though you do not get poisoned, you are now grappled as it's got this thing is wrapped around your head at the moment. So you're kind of resisting, like your thick hide is resisting the natural poison effects of this creature, but there's this tentacle wrapped around your head at the moment. And that's going to be its turn. We're back at the top with Rhoda with Growl number 2 on deck.
All right. I think after Rhoda experienced that like uncontrolled attack that she had, that she's just gonna stick to unarmed attacks. So I'm gonna do 2 attacks since I have an extra attack that I can use too.
Okay. And just a reminder, now that your turn has started, you've lost the temporary HP that you did acquire last round.
Thank you.
Yep.
All right. We have a 25 to hit.
Absolutely.
Does not hit.
That's 8 damage.
My Grell goes Super Saiyan and is invincible. So yes, this thing is looking rough, very, very rough.
All right. I'm gonna hit it one more time.
Okay.
22 to hit.
Yeah, 100%.
And that is 10 damage.
How would you like to finish this Grell as it's kind of like reeling from all this damage that it's taking? What do you do to finish it off?
Can I like jump up in the air and then come down and smash its head with my foot?
Oh, 100%.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the biggest thing, and this is not a problem, but the biggest thing you experience is just this soft, gushy, as your foot slams into the center mass of its brain head, and it just kind of like crumples and kind of seizes, and it falls to the ground completely destroyed. Is there anything else you'd like to do? You've already done enough, but is there anything else?
How is that other girl like kind of so far away?
So it would be from you. You would be able to reach it with your current speed. It moved toward Arya, so it would just be right at the edge of your distance, your remaining speed. So, well, actually, what is your speed as a monk? What do you got? Like 45?
35.
Okay, yeah, you can absolutely get there.
Yeah. Okay.
You see, as you run, you see this tentacle is wrapped around Arya's head as she's kind of in this like tug of war with this creature that's hovering 10 feet away from her.
Great. I'm gonna go for the other one, and since I'll be further away from everybody, I'll spend a key point and use my Hand of Harm on that one after I attack. So
you're gonna get all the way within 5 feet of the creature? Just to be clear.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah, go for it.
Okay. 21 to hit.
Absolutely.
All right, that's 7 damage, and then the 1d6.
And Augustine, you're on
an
deck.
extra 7.
Extra 7. Holy cow. And then go ahead and do me your charisma saving throw, please. DC 12.
That's a 14.
Okay. You have already given yourself to this thing in this moment, whatever it is, this compulsion, this control. You push it down as it kind of rears its head again. You... hang on, let me just read everything that I wrote. I don't remember all the details. Okay, yeah. So you're able to suppress it in this moment as you kind of focus the key within your body to continue to damage this creature. Is there anything else you'd like to do?
Nope, I think I'm going to stay right here.
All right, sounds good. Augustine, what you got?
As he watched his newly married wife, he's watched his wife kill lots of things over the last few months, but now they're married, and it's a different way. And he, as she was coming down, striking it the first grill with the death blow, in the background was "Take My Breath Away" in slow motion by Berlin, and he feels just the immense amount of pride, and he watches her rush over to the other one, join in the battle, and like kind of like a war movie, the sound went away, and then woo, rush back in. He's super focused in, rushes over, and he is going to like the tentacles are still wrapped around Arya, correct?
Correct, yes.
He is going to take a nice quick slash with his sword at those stupid tentacles trying to free her.
Yeah, go for it.
15.
Awesome, that hits. I've set a little damage threshold in my mind for cutting the tentacles, so do your damage.
12.
Awesome, beautiful. I set it at 10. So you're able to definitely cut these tentacles. This creature, like, these are some of its larger tentacles, stronger elements, as it completely gets separated from it. Arya, you feel yourself kind of able to pull back, and you said you did 12 damage?
Yes.
This thing is looking rough. Is there anything else you'd like to do?
Yeah, I think as he swings it down, cuts through the tentacles, right before the blade hits the ground, he powers back up and takes another like upswing strike at the grill. Let's see here. To hit. I got an 18.
18 hits. Do it to it.
11.
Augustine, how would you like to finish this grell?
He swings it up and just slices off the beak of the grell.
Beautiful. I think as you cut this tentacle, it kind of like reels back and almost like bumps into Rhoda, but then in the counter swing as it tries to correct itself, hovering in the air, you just come down and absolutely cleave this thing, and it falls to the ground. The beak particles have kind of like stuck into your sword, so as its body falls, you kind of pull the sword that you're holding out of its beak with a sickening crunch. As you guys turn, you do not see any more grells. You have survived your first encounter in the mall as you look around at one another. Caleb, we can transition back to eerie music. What would you guys like to do as you recover and you look around and see what's happened?
First thing, Arya would nod to both Augustine and Rhoda as she is pulling the stinger from her neck. Yeah.
Nod back. I think Augustine, because Matt, correct me if I'm wrong. You're like a little further back from us, or did you? Yeah. I would instantly be like, I would make the nod. I'd look behind to make sure Czar is okay, and kind of waddling his way up to us.
He is pouting. He has a grenade in his hands that he is disarming. He's like, oh, wow, don't worry. He's fine.
I would walk up to Arya and cast Lay on Hands and top her off. I don't know how much HP that is.
Nice.
I only need 9.
Okay.
Nice.
Okay, so you guys kind of get yourselves back together. I think all of you would have witnessed Rhoda losing control for a brief moment. I don't know if you would have any context for what that is, but you would note it at the very least. Unless you guys want to have any further conversations, I think you turn out and see kind of this field of fog laid before you. Go ahead and do me any kind of check you'd like to do, whether that's the survival check to get back on the path, a perception check to see what's going on, investigation to see if there's anything around, anything you guys would like to do to continue to move forward closer to your destination.
Do another survival check. What do you think?
Sure.
Sounds good.
Rhoda, lead the way.
With advantage.
Someone helping me? Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
That is a 23.
Amazing. I love it. Wow. Okay, so you start to pull the group together as you venture into this eerie fog zone. I think what's important to note about the fog is that it isn't impeding your vision necessarily, but it is kind of reducing your ability to see what's on the ground in front of you. You guys walk forward, and it's just a series of glowing stalagmites, the ones that are on the ground forcing up, and you kind of walk forward for a while. You have kind of like your adrenaline's leaving the body. Your breath is calming, and then Rhoda specifically, you are kind of leaving behind what happened as you move forward. You're able to take them through into this next zone, and it looks like this is almost like this vast stretch of this foggy stalagmite filled terrain. Go ahead and actually I think with that survival, you said a 20 what?
23.
23. Okay, yeah.
Wait, was that right?
Yeah, I think
that's what I remember.
Yeah, I know it wasn't a 25. But nonetheless, you're able to kind of find directions. And I think in this space, you see there's a couple almost like more core pillars. They're larger, they're more central. You see on the couple of them kind of this directional symbol from the Wardens' camp. It seems that you are in the right direction. So you guys travel for about an hour. I think, I don't know if you guys are talking amongst yourselves, but you guys are traveling in this space for a while. At first, I think there's a hesitation of stepping, especially with the fog that's on the ground, but you guys are able to easily get out of the way of any kind of problems. What I do need as we continue to go, once we get about hour and a half, 2 hours into this kind of just almost endless cavern, it feels like, I need your passive perceptions. I would like to know what your numbers are. I think I have them written down, but I'd like to hear them nonetheless. What are your passive perceptions?
11.
9.
12.
17.
Very nice. Okay. And then is there anything else that you guys are doing as you're walking through this extended period of time in this cavernous space?
I think Rhoda would probably feel Arya's eyes on her maybe a bit more often than the others.
Rhoda, in the front, you of course are leading the pack, but yes, I think you sense behind you Arya. Can you do me an insight check real quick, Rhoda?
24.
Beautiful. Arya, what would you allow yourself to be feeling with a check like that? Or be perceived off of your person? And you're welcome to roll as well if you'd like, but I think that's a pretty high check nonetheless.
I can't beat that. I think you would get both wariness and almost sympathy.
Okay.
So you kind of glance back over your shoulder. I think that you see her looking at you too many times to be a coincidence. It's like whenever you see someone staring at you and you both look away, like you both recognize you weren't seeing each other. But I think Arya is different than that. She kind of violates that almost unspoken perspective, and she kind of holds it, or she isn't ashamed of being seen looking at you. So you guys walk forward, unless there's anything you'd like to say, Rhoda. You guys continue on in this escape before you. I think after about around the 2-hour mark, Rhoda, you are the only one that recognizes this. Just on the edge of your vision, just among some of the stalactites and some of the darkness and some of the blue eerie glow, you see one of the stalactites seems to move, and then once you see it, you see another stalactite begin to move, and then you kind of like pause for a minute. I think everyone sees you pause as you like really start to focus in, and I think some of it almost seems as if this floor, barely out of the corner of your eye when you're not looking, the floor is moving around you. Is it the floor? Is it the rock? Is Omnite moving? And I think what you, Arya, specifically notice, I think you're able to point that out to everyone, but you especially notice that just on the edge of your vision, there are several stalagmites that do not look like stalagmites. You see an eye, a singular eye. It disappears when it connects with you. You walk for a bit. You see another one. It's not moving toward you. It's just watching. And then there's another eye that is at a different spot. Like it couldn't have gotten that way that quickly. Is there anything that you say when you start to see this occurring around you, between the moving floor or these distant eyes on the wall?
I would probably just look back and tell everyone, keep your eyes peeled. And I would kind of like look around at the walls just to signal to them that there may be something out there.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna like raise alarm or anything, but
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah.
Czar, do you still have your blue glowing light?
I do, yes.
Okay.
I think once she says keep your eyes open, I might put it away, but up until then I would, yeah.
Okay. Can I have everyone make perception checks for me? It seems as if you're trying to kind of keep your cool and continue on forward. Everyone make active perception checks for me, please. Just straight rolls.
9.
15.
9 as well.
15 as well.
20.
Nat 20.
Nat
Oh my
20.
God. Did you get a loaded dice? Oh
This is going to be the whole time. While this
I
is
know.
Burn them. Okay, so anyone that got everyone that got 15 or higher, you're able to start to immediately recognize the space that is moving around you. You see that, yes, it appears the stalagmites are moving, but it's almost like they don't move when you look directly at them. But just when you look over at the corner of your eye, you see the floor is almost shifting, like the floor is alive. But it doesn't seem like I almost envision, Czar, you take a glance down maybe before you put your light out and kind of like move some of the fog, and you put your light on the ground and see like the ground is the ground. You know, it's not like the floor is lava. It doesn't seem like it's some kind of creature that's moving. It just seems the stalactites or the stalagmites themselves are shifting when you're not watching. And then with the nat 20, Rhoda, you do indeed see one creature that is like standing tall like a stalagmite, and I think you both connect as you see the singular eye of this like creature. It's not really humanoid, but it is, but it isn't. But then you continue to look around and you see 1, 2, 4. I think by the time you take a full turn, you see there are 5 of these creatures just watching.
Okay. But they're not moving toward us. They're just watching
not moving?
us.
No. Yeah, I mean, it's almost like imagine like a goblin, but like all of its features are gone, and instead it has these like rocky things coming out the back of its body. It's got this kind of like wide, toothy mouth that almost seems like it's in a grin. It's got these claws at the end of its hands, and it kind of stands upright like a humanoid would. But why would it be down here? Why would something like this be present? What is this thing? I think what you do notice with that nat 20, I think you notice like there's a glint of intelligence. Like when you stare at something and you're like, oh, that's something that has something going on behind its eyes. So it's like you connect with it and it looks at you. It also sees you as it almost like doesn't hide itself anymore as it stands. And I think as Rhoda makes this connection, you all see 5 bodies kind of like stand up at different places around you, all within maybe 60 feet. It almost seems like they're surrounding you, but also they're not moving towards you. The fact that they were so easily hiding, why didn't they attack before now? You don't know, but Rhoda, you make that connection. I think everyone probably stops at this point, unless you keep moving to see what it does.
I think Arya is immediately in guard position.
Yes.
And just waiting to see if they move.
They don't.
They don't. What happens? Okay, so if we're all kind of like standing in guard position, like at the ready, if Augustine were to slide his foot forward, like making like a slight more noise than normal, kind of like not a lunging motion, but you know, like you're kind of in like a guard motion and you kind of move that front foot forward, kind of like in a more karate stance almost, and you're kind of like shifting your weight to the back, making a little noise with that front foot. What do the creatures do?
I think the one closest to you mirrors you. It just kind of like tilts its head curiously and just kind of does a little shift that mirrors your motion.
There's 5 of them.
There's 5
Correct.
of them.
There's
One of
5
them
of them.
does that mirror.
Interesting. Okay.
think Czar, while we're paused here, if I don't finish, that's fine, but I'm going to pull out a small laptop, not quite a laptop, but like an online powered scanner and start ritual casting Detect Magic.
Okay.
Takes like 10 minutes, but while we're just paused here, I'm just going to start trying to cast that and see if I pick up anything.
I think the one closest to you tilts its head and watches. Not going to interrupt what you're doing. I am curious, I know we haven't tapped into languages too much in the world of Amnesia, but what languages do you guys speak?
Common and Gnomish.
Common, Elvish, Halfling, and Abyssal.
A what?
Abyssal.
Nice.
Abyssal, Common, Infernal.
Okay.
Actually, most of these languages don't exist, and Common is just kind of the language
Common
everybody
is the
speaks.
thing. Yeah.
First up, actually, of the day.
Thank you, Lord. I appreciate
Wow, that
it.
was honestly terrifying.
Nonetheless, I am looking to see if anyone would happen to speak a language.
I do have comprehend languages. So if I start hearing something speaking a language I don't understand, I will try to start. If I have the time to ritual cast it, I will. Otherwise, I'll just pop it on the spot.
No, I think that you can. Why don't we resolve your detect magic? They're not moving towards you. You guys have stopped, and they have stopped as well. It's almost like this. I mean, it's probably tense for you guys, but also for them, they're just kind of like tilting their heads, and you begin to hear a subtle chattering, almost like this, like groany, like as they kind of like glance sideways to one another. With your detect magic, is there something in particular you're looking for?
Just if there's any magic around them.
I mean, within 30 feet of you, there's magic all over the place. This place is filled with Omnite, and I think there's just this essence of arcane. I don't think any particular camp stands out. You would have to get closer to one of these creatures in order to be in 30 feet of it to detect magic on it itself.
Zara thinks about it for a long moment, puts 1 foot forward and goes, nope, not yet. And flips a switch on his little device and turns it into like a Google Translate version, goes, 1 second, starts trying to tune that into whatever the chattering is.
As the time is beginning to stretch a bit longer, I think Arya is still wary but not actively on guard, and is probably gonna, if possible, start the process of a short rest, just in case we're here long enough for that.
Okay.
Interesting.
I mean,
if that's
you
okay.
guys, I mean, yeah, I would say if you're not like actively like tense, like protecting the perimeter, and if you want to like kind of let your guard down enough to rest, I'm not opposed to that, but I think just understand what that means. So you can't be like on active guard and active rest at the same time.
Yeah, that's a good point. Okay, not gonna go for the rest then.
Okay. I mean, you're welcome to like set your pack down or like something like that if you want to like almost give the impression of,
Sure.
You don't know what these things get the impression of off of you, but you're welcome to do something like that if you'd like.
I'll just set my pack down and start like doing stretches and quote unquote relaxing.
Okay.
But
yeah, I think you guys see,
off them.
interestingly enough, Arya, in the midst of this, nothing's happened, no changes, done anything. She puts down her pack and I think looks up instinctively to see if there's any response. And again, the creatures are just tilting their head and murmuring amongst themselves. Zar, you're able to successfully cast Comprehend Languages. And I think what you are hearing, and just not to summon the Lore Lord again, we're going to just say that you are able to understand the language that is happening around you. The long and short of it is that these creatures sound to be curious. I think the thing that you hear them say amongst themselves is very like kind of flatly like, what can they give? Could they give us something? Could they give us something? What can these topsiders do for us? What can they give? What can they give? Oh, what are they doing? What can they give? And I think that's kind of like amongst the 5 of them, they're speaking along those lines. With Comprehend Languages, you cannot technically speak their language, but you're welcome to reach out in any way that you'd like, if you're interested.
Yeah, I can't speak it. I guess I'll obviously the whole time I'll be kind of both speaking aloud and then it probably like Google Translate like writes it out on my little pad or whatever and showing everybody else to be like, do they want something? There's food? No? They don't look like they eat food? Kind of look around. Like, what could they want?
I think the original one that Rhoda saw, who still continues to be trained on her, he kind of like does a little bit of like almost an ape walk over, like cautiously trying to see if he can get any closer to see if you allow it. So he's about 45 feet at the moment. Went from 60 to 45. He's not trying to present necessarily aggressive, but I think its natural form that you're unaware of is intimidating because it's something unknown. Do you allow it to walk closer to you all?
I think if it's walking over to Rhoda, Zar has mentioned that they are asking for something. Augustine would like slowly reach into his pocket, and the necklace that he had on earlier, he would hold it out to them, like slowly, to see if it draws them away from Rhoda to the necklace.
I think the one closest kind of like ducks down for a moment. Is it allowed to get any closer to kind of get a better look?
I would say yes. I will allow it to get closer.
Okay.
Arya is weapon in hand, but not trying to look obviously aggressive.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay.
I would prepare an Eldritch Blast if something made a threatening move to one of my party members.
Sounds good. Question for you, Trevor. Does this item that you procured, does it have any magical properties?
Nope.
Okay. I think it just kind of like ducks for a moment as you pull this thing out, and it just kind of like tilts its head again. And I think it like looks back to Rhoda. It takes a couple more steps, and then as it gets within 30 feet, Rhoda, can you do me a deception check, please?
This is my weak point, guys. That's a 2.
That's a 2. Okay, I think this thing, you just kind of almost see, like it's got this green central eye, and there's almost like this like pulsing of like the elements of the retina as it kind of like stares into you, and there's just almost like this emanating for a brief moment as you feel this creature like just, it's almost like you have the door to your mind, and it goes up to the door and opens it just to take a little peek, and then it closes it. And I think Zar, I think you're close enough to kind of hear this thing say, "Oh, secrets, yes, that is what we like. That is what we could. Oh, deep secrets. She has deep, stories, brothers, secrets." And then this thing kind of looks content, and then it kind of like walks back, and he's kind of like chattering to his friends kind of over his shoulder, looking back at you guys, and then he walks back, and I think the others kind of like start to walk forward as this one walks backwards. It kind of like stops within 45 feet just to kind of be like, hey, these guys got what we want. So the other 4 will walk towards you guys as if to initiate the same kind of exchange.
They want secrets? Not that any of us have any, clearly, naturally. They seem to, it looks around kind of nervously, like, payment is in secrets, in our secrets, so don't.
The one that did the thing to Rhoda, did it back away and like recede into the darkness, or is it still close to Rhoda?
No, it like respectfully kind of like, as respectfully as this creature can that doesn't speak your language, kind of like almost bows and moves back and like kind of stays put at like 45 feet or so, and as if to kind of give him like, come on guys, you can get some too. But like it's not like interest. I mean, it doesn't give. Well, give me an insight check against this creature beyond that. Yeah, beyond that.
Not great. Insight 10.
Yeah, I think beyond that, it's kind of hard to tell. It doesn't seem like it's like it got it. Zar registered that it got what it wanted. Rhoda felt that it learned something, and then it removed itself kind of from your immediate area. So take from that what you will.
I think I would kind of like, as these things are coming close, are we going to give them secrets?
I don't know if we need to do anything. I don't think they mean to hurt us either.
Well, they just read your mind.
The other 4 are now within 30 feet of each of you. I need everyone to make a deception check. Unless you'd like to fail it, then you can do so as well.
I find that if they tell anyone, then I'm blowing them up.
What did you say?
I said, if they tell anyone, I'm blowing them up. And I rolled on that one.
Oh my
That one.
And I have no deception. I'm
17.
very devious. What you see is what you get.
Oof.
Okay. I think all of you have the same experience that Rhoda did. Not that she expressed what it was, but you feel this creature just briefly, psychically knocking on the door and pulling a little treat out of your window. And all of them just kind of like are, kind of just as much as you can jitter in a cheerful kind of way. I think you hear just like a parade of different things. And I think, Zara, if you still have your translation up, you're hearing things like, oh, death, betrayal. We have, secrets. Oh, we have people that have been past. People that have passed. Sacrifices, murder. Oh. And then they all kind of like back off and stay that 45. And then in a way, I think they all do just kind of like a subtle bow. And I think they just kind of start to take their time to wander away from the group. Unless there's anything you guys would like to do.
Did it feel...
Do we have any way of asking? Oh, go ahead.
I don't know if I can possibly tell this, but did it feel like whatever it got, whether it took it or just like copied it, if that makes sense?
I think it more so copied it. I think you guys know exactly what they tapped into. I think they all tapped into your secret. And I think you know what those secrets are, and you haven't lost the memory of what those secrets are.
Cool.
Rhoda, to answer your question, I think the very first one that came forward, I think he's the one that probably sticks around the longest. Maybe the leader of the group? I don't know. You're welcome to try to communicate, but it doesn't seem as if these things natively speak common.
I was just thinking if there was a way that we could communicate to them to see if they have seen other people like us, the topsiders. I don't know if we'd like draw a picture or if anyone has a spell or something to like show a picture or
they would have been wearing.
Sure, something. I don't know. Any ideas?
Do we have like...
Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, do we have warden pins or something? Like an insignia that we can kind of point at?
Yeah, I mean, I'd say you guys have identifiers of the wardens.
Okay, maybe point at that.
Like, pointing at that. This more like...
Yeah.
Pointing to the direction.
Arya is also trying to think as loudly as she can the question.
Oh, very good. That's
okay. That's
a good idea.
Why don't I go ahead and do this? I love what you guys are doing. Go ahead and give me a group persuasion check.
All right, that's a great.
You can't take persuasion. Are we all rolling in?
Yeah, so everyone roll
3.
persuasion check, and then I'll take the average of the things.
16.
21.
16 as well.
8.
3.
So 16, 3, 8.
21.
21.
Oh, nice.
Beautiful. And there are 5 of you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I mean, I think you are able to get, I would say, ultimately all of you are kind of like offering up this common symbol, and it detects this common symbol, and it kind of like looks forward, and it like again, it tilts its head, the front one, the leader of the pack, as it were. And Rhoda, I think specifically you kind of like are making contact with it and being the first point of contact here. I think it kind of like looks, and then it like turns as if to like walk away, but then it like turns back to look and see if you're following it.
Oh.
So it walks 15 feet, turns and looks.
Okay. Do we follow this creature? I think might be worth a try.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, are there any...
As we're going, is there, like, as we're starting to follow it, is there a way that we could
see if there's signs like that would like can't the warden can't?
Sure. Yeah.
Like not too far off the track.
Yeah, you're welcome to make a survival check as you're following this creature. You don't even have to follow it if you don't want to. Up to you guys.
I would like to do a survival check.
Survival check first.
Yeah.
Are you doing it, or are you encouraging?
I mean, I would probably, since Rhoda's led us this far, I would probably mention like, can you see if there's any canting that way before we follow these one-eyed creatures?
All right. And is that with help again? Whoever was helping me
Steven,
last
you wanna
time?
help her?
Yes.
Okay. That's a 23.
23.
Nice.
Yeah, I think you're able to find, similar to before, you saw some of these standout stalagmites on the ground, and you see a couple symbols that continue to affirm the direction that this creature, which is the Nothic, is taking you. So it seems as if the others have kind of faded just out of view into the darkness to the sides of the walls. Occasionally you see one of them pop up as if they're just following, curious, seeing what you guys are doing with their friend. And eventually the Nothic, you were following the Nothic after your confirmation of survival?
Yep.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think so. Yeah.
So eventually he leads you to this kind of like overhang. It seems as if you've kind of reached some kind of what almost seems like a cave mouth. And then it stops and immediately kind of like almost puts up one of its clawed hands and just kind of like holds it there for a minute and looks over like this edge behind him that you can't quite see over. And then kind of points across where it almost seems as if the ground comes up again across this kind of like cavernous entryway. And then after a couple seconds, it kind of does a nod and then tramples off into the fog. You hear this kind of yeah, you hear this the same noise as before, the flickering, the guttural noises as it kind of like goes off into the fog. You guys reach, and I think, Rhoda, you would be able to tell with that kind of like visual communication, you have reached another edge, and I think it would have been hard to see because of the fog that's kind of glancing over it. It would have been easy to trip, but this creature has kind of like shown you there's an off point here, the best way that it could. You guys see now, it seems as if on the other side of this what seems to be a ravine that you have no idea how deep it goes is another stretch of land that seems to leave kind of the stalagmites, as it were. So there's this giant ravine, two walls are holding across the ravine itself, and then another patch of land that seems to continue on the other side. The walls themselves to the left and to the right, and as well as the ceiling, are rocky. They're jagged. But beyond that, it's difficult to see if there's any other way across. And Rhoda, do me one more survival check, please.
Assisting.
$25.
Beautiful. Oh my gosh. You see a very clear sign that is pointing across the ravine.
Oh, okay. I will point that out to everybody else.
Okay. We need to make it across the ravine.
How far is the gap?
I'd say the gap is probably 100, 200 feet.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's a pretty far stretch.
Do we have any like a long enough rope? I'm pretty confident I could probably. You said the wall is rocky, right?
Yes, I would say probably each of you would have come with about 100 feet of hempen rope. I feel like that's a pretty standard pack that would have been given to you for this trip.
I feel pretty confident in my abilities to climb the rock face over to the other side with rope, and we can anchor it and try to get ourselves across.
Before you go, I'm gonna. Is there just like a loose rock around?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. I'm gonna drop it over the edge of the ravine and see if I can hear it land.
You hear kind of this wind. You kind of hear the rock glance across the wall and then out again, and then eventually you hear just this distant click. It's definitely deeper than the initial wall you crawled down to get into this zone.
Okay.
So I just want to make sure I'm under. So we have the ravine. On the other side is the cave mouth, but there's like a wall, and are we like up against a wall that runs vertical to the horizontal?
Yeah, almost envision like, like a cornucopia where it starts wide and you guys have been in the wide, and then it's starting to like narrow into the other side of the ravine. So it's almost like the bottom has been cut out, but you have this kind of arched ceiling that has walls on either side and then a ceiling that goes up as well. And that's kind of narrowing down. It almost seems as if you guys have been in essentially a large cave that is then getting to the mouth of the cave itself.
Okay. I just want to make sure I was understanding, because I was trying to say I could climb the side wall, bring the rope over, we could anchor it, and we could have basically, and if we have enough rope, we could make a top rope to anchor to the wall and a bottom rope, so you're kind of like hanging and walking, like shimmying across the rope.
So you said the ravine itself was about 200 feet across? Am I remembering correctly?
Yeah, 200 feet across, significantly more than that down. I would say, you could certainly featherfall down there if you wanted to, but you get the impression it's pretty far down.
That.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh boy. I like that idea. So.
I believe, Zarzaki, you said you had some, like a hammer and pythons, right?
Yep.
So.
Yeah, I've got hammer and pythons.
Tink, tink, tink.
Actually, I might have some of those as well.
Yeah.
Nope,
So. And I've got like smith's tools. Well, I've got my all-purpose tools, so I'll probably try to like anchor it in as much as possible.
Yeah. I mean, if you let me borrow, you said you had some extra tools. I can make some anchor points across the wall as I'm going.
Laden with tools. Here.
Okay.
Take this.
How does everyone feel about this?
Very bad, but don't see any other.
Okay.
I don't know that we want to do a top and bottom rope, because that'll be all but 100 feet of our rope, but a top rope for sure.
Top rope for sure. Okay. All right, so I walk up to the wall and I look back at the group before going across, look at Rhoda and smile, and I would like to start making my way across with the tools. And
I'm closing my eyes.
All right.
Watching this.
Are you going alone?
I would think so.
Okay.
Actually,
Or should we all just do it?
no, I think it would be a good idea for, at least for anyone who's not very comfortable with climbing, to stay back. But if we do have two people out, then one, like if someone falls, then the other person might be able to catch them.
Yeah. I am pretty strong, I have to say.
I will say,
am
in order to get
reasonably as well.
across, if you're going to climb, I'll give you kind of a heads up. I know we're getting late here on time. I'll need either acrobatics or athletics checks to pull yourself across. So athletics would be you hanging onto the wall. Acrobatics would be you definitely manipulating the parts of the wall that you can anchor onto successfully. So either of those checks would be accepted for this next progression.
Okay. I'm comfortable with that.
Okay, I can cross with you.
Okay.
We also, so we're taking a rope across. We should probably tie ourselves to it and then have someone like
Hold on.
ready to hold the other end if we do fall.
Smart.
I can hold the other end.
Yeah.
And I will say you also still have stalagmites on the end of this part of the ravine, so you're more than welcome to tie rope around
Okay,
the
okay,
stalagmites
perfect.
if you need to do so.
That's what we can do. All right. Tie him and anchor him. All right. I'll start shimmying myself across.
Okay, so Arya and Augustine are going across together?
Yep.
Okay, I will need your first acrobatics or athletics check, please.
A 27.
I got a 11.
11. The DC was low for this first one. You both are able to climb across. Arya, you have a difficult time. This is more tricky than you thought it would be, but you see this little gnome next to you, definitely small hands, precise fingers getting into the crevices, kind of
Ooh, precise fingers.
He's probably a little bit faster than you are just because of that check, but you guys are able to kind of make it to the first checkpoint. Are you anchoring pythons as you go, or are you just free falling it?
Yeah, we're gonna anchor a python.
Okay, I think that you can do that without problem, without check. So you anchor the first python, and then you move on to the next one. As you continue to move on, Augustine, you can tell these rocks are a little bit slimier as you get to kind of the open ravine. Some kind of like fog or must has risen up and made it a little bit harder. Go ahead and do me your next acrobatics or athletics check, please.
Okay.
15.
24.
Beautiful. Okay, I think you had played with that first zone, Arya, but now you really know what's needed here. You're able to kind of get that strength and grasp in and follow Augustine as he continues to skitter across the wall. And go ahead, after you make that next python position, do me one last check. The rock here begins to smooth out as you see almost like really pure ammonite is scattered into the wall. It's beautiful. It's gorgeous. The only problem is it's slick. Go ahead and do me one last athletics or acrobatics check, please.
18.
14.
Meets it, beats it. You both are able to get the very last stretch. Arya, it's tough. You probably don't have a lot of time or experience rock climbing or anything like it. You probably have not done this in a while, but you know your allies are watching you. Augustine skitters ahead and is able to make it across. And I think, Augustine, you're the only one that really sees how much she struggles, but she is able to make it across, and you guys secure the line on the other side. This line will now give anyone that comes across advantage on your checks. I will, unless if you guys have another way, need the remaining 3 to do the same.
I'll look at the other 2 on the other side. Yes, you all know my biggest fear is heights, and I have little noodle arms, but let me just go ahead and I'm going to get this over with now. I'm going to start going.
So does the rope give them an advantage on it?
Advantage on every check.
Okay.
Every check.
Gotcha.
Okay.
And just for time's sake, I do want to ask, is there anyone that's staying behind? Are you going one at a time, or is anyone traveling together?
We should all just go together, right?
Go together.
I mean, the rope, could it support all of us? I imagine one at a time.
That's a good question.
Yeah, I think the rope can support all of you. I think if it was just a freestanding rope, it'd be more difficult. But you guys secured pythons along the way, which is very much a smart move. It kind of gives you that extra individual anchor point, almost like checkpoints along the way. So I think it would not be a problem, especially with how new the rope is. You guys can travel together.
Okay, cool.
So I'll need that first check with advantage, athletics or acrobatics from everyone.
And not guidance?
You can guidance yourself, certainly.
Oh, yay. I still do that.
23.
Good rolls. Come on, let's go, Zar.
19.
Okay. You guys are able to make it to that first checkpoint. The rocks get slimy. Same experience. Roll once again. Advantage on your checks, please. You're welcome to do guidance as well, since this is an individual check.
This advantage is saving my ass. 22.
21.
24.
Awesome. You guys are able to, you saw the example of them earlier. You follow the same path and then finally get to the last bit where it becomes more slick. One more check for me, please, with advantage.
14.
Nat 20.
Ooh. Nice. 24.
Amazing. You all are getting along the wall. I think for a brief moment, your turtle friend slips. He's a bulky figure, but meets it, beats it, as he just makes it to the other side of the ravine. You guys are able to make it there, and I think as we are landing this evening, are you guys are hitting the end of kind of your travel period. You can continue on, you can push. I think with everything that you've done, stopping and fighting and journeying, it hasn't been a difficult journey. It's been long, it's been hazardous. Are you guys going to settle in for a long rest, or are you going to push it for another 4 hours?
I think
I don't think we...
Go ahead.
I was going to say, we don't really have a reason to push it right now, do we?
Yeah,
No,
I think at this point we
Yeah, I
want
think we should
to
rest.
pace ourselves.
Okay, I think what you find here then on the other side of the ravine is kind of the almost a cave entrance that seems to be going out into something larger. This is a pretty defensible position if this is a place that you'd like to spend the night.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so as we land today, is there anything that you guys would like to do as you're settling in? Are you doing shifts? Are you all sleeping together? How is this looking tonight in your setup with each other?
Definitely setting up a shift of watches.
Yeah.
Okay, I think you can easily get
sleeping together.
through essentially 4-hour shifts of people. So you can do 2 and then 2 and then 2 if that's what you'd like to do. You can do more than that. You can do less than that.
2 and 2.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay. All right, you guys settle in. You pull out the items that you have to support this resting place. Heeding the warnings of First Lieutenant Droon, you don't set a fire, but I think you guys are able to generate heat with your various abilities, whether that's covering a fire or pulling out one of the blankets that a warden assigned. And then you guys settle in for several shifts. Now, what I need you all to do on this first night of resting is I need everyone to make a wisdom saving throw, please.
And really quick, can I just, if there's a tiny choke point somewhere near our camp, can I cast alarm?
Oh, yeah. You can
Across
do it
it.
right on the cave entrance. The cave entrance, I would say, is about
Perfect, yeah.
10 feet wide. So I would say in this instance, you could easily set it up there to, protect that front.
You said wisdom.
Perfect, I'll do alarm.
Yes, wisdom saving throw across the board, please.
Everyone has +5 to this as well.
Oh, incredible.
23.
This is the reason why I took resilient, just for these stupid saves. Okay.
22.
11.
18.
9.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay. I think what happens over the course of the next 4, 8, 12 hours, you guys almost are going through these shifts. You're spending time sharing the space with one another, trusting your allies to protect you. Nothing necessarily problematic comes up that you're aware of. I think what happens, though, is as each of you drift in and out of sleep, you all see something almost as if it's in your mind's eye, something in the distance, like the Nothics that you saw in the fog that were just out of reach, or maybe the stalagmites that were only moving when you weren't looking. It's almost as if you each experienced something similar. Tebren, during your watch, you hear once again a gentle laugh in the distance, and you hear and look off to see a child that you recognize, and he just, "Hi, Tebren. It's good to see you. I don't like this place." And he just kind of laughs and runs off out of the cave, jumping over the alarm that your little dwarf friend set.
Does it set it off?
It doesn't. He jumps over it. Or at least that's what it looks like. You rub your eyes and he's gone. I don't know if you tell anyone, but that's what you see.
Definitely not. No.
Augustine, I think when you drift off to sleep, you're thinking, I think you and Rhoda probably are holding hands, and I think as you drift off into sleep, you kind of like enter this dream state of, you look around and you can feel like this wetness hitting your face, and I think it's like a snowdrop or something, and you kind of wake up in your dream, or maybe you go to sleep in your dream, and you see just this like forest of like snow, and it's just this expanse. It's in your mind's eye. It feels real. It feels like it's on your skin, but also it feels uncanny. You've walked this forest before. I don't think you get anywhere when you walk, and you just kind of walk, and I think there's a gut feeling that you can't shake, but you don't know what to do with it, and at some point you wake up and that scene is gone. Arya, I think you see as well a child when you're awake, but it's like a younger version of you, and it's like sitting across from you, but when you go to look at it, it's gone. It's like there, but it's not. I don't know if you in your stasis would believe the existence of whatever this is. I think you think it's probably just a flesh of like something playing with your mind, but that's all, hopefully?
Yeah, I'd probably just slap myself, assuming I'm drifting off or something.
Yeah, and when you slap yourself, it doesn't happen anymore, but it definitely felt like it did happen. Zar, I think you, in your sleep, you hear, like, I don't know, there's like comfort. You're like in a home. You're like in a wooden home, and there's a fireplace, and like, when you were younger, what do you think you would have made as a young artificer? What like, would you make toys? Would you make items? Would you start young with firecrackers? What would you make as a kid?
Definitely firecrackers.
Little firecrackers.
Tiny, beautiful explosions.
I think you have dreams of you making firecrackers, but in the distance you kind of hear this like heavy footfalls, and you hear,
Zar, stop playing with the fire, son. I will show you the fire if you keep doing that.
I don't think you see anything, but you hear the footfalls like it's getting closer, and I think you wake up at that point. And then finally, Rhoda, you fall asleep next to your husband. It's a weird feeling. You are not used to being seen. And marriage is the purest form of being seen. And I don't think you guys have gotten to process through your connection truly. Even in your explanation of saying yes to Augustine, it was still a journey of you finding the answer of what you wanted to say. And I think as you drift off to sleep, you see your husband, you could feel him next to you, but then slowly, like, the image in your head of your husband shifts to an image of your brother when he was younger, a young Rollo, and he's looking at you. There's just blackness around you. It's just him and you, and he is crying, and he's reaching out his hand to you. What do you do with that?
I would probably reach back out to him. Yeah.
As you reach, the shadow under your hand pushes Rollo away, and you continue to walk forward trying to reach, and the shadow continues to stretch until Rollo dips into darkness. You all wake up. But when you wake up, there's something unsettling. Something has rested and situated within your bodies. You all know your bodies. You're strong. You are 9th level after all. But something's wrong. It doesn't feel proper. Something about this place feels incorrect and unsettled. And I think you guys recognize that as you get up in the morning. I think it's an unspoken thing. No one has to say it. It's just there. Mechanically, for the rest of the game, there are 3 things that you will have to keep in mind. The first is, for the rest of this campaign, you have 9 total hit dice. Period. You can spend those hit dice on a short or a long rest, but when they are gone and they will not return. Number 2, when you are long resting, you may either spend hit dice to regain health, or remove a level of exhaustion if you have it. Not both. And then finally, when you restore hit points from your hit dice pool, you begin to get exhausted as your body is trying to keep up with the strain that it's feeling with this sickness of the maw. So at 9 hit dice, you have no exhaustion. At 6 hit dice, you have 1 level of permanent exhaustion. At 3, you have 2. And at 0, you have 3. So you all wake up. The lighting has not changed, yet 12 hours have passed. Your bodies are unsettled, but your resolve, for the moment, is still forward. Thank you for playing session 1 of Into the Hellmouth. That's where we're going to end tonight's session.